my favorite part of being a trainer is because I get to see everybody progressing, right? Getting fitter, healthier, feeling better. And whenever I see them being committed, coming in and seeing results, that means we are winning too, right? Just being able to relate also with your clients as well. And then knowing you're part of their journey is just very rewarding and fun.
All right.
Makes me really happy.
We usually start the episodes now, Kevin, with asking everybody what they had for breakfast. So what did you have for breakfast, my friend?
For breakfast today, I had 3 scrambled eggs and I had
like steamed.
There you go.
Okay.
There we go.
Steamed potatoes with HEB. I like the HEB spicy ketchup. I don't know. It's my favorite right now. It's
really good.
Sorry, someone just got in my. But yeah, that's what I had for breakfast this morning and a coffee.
Nice.
Ooh,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
Phil?
I had meal prep for breakfast. It was just rice, some white rice, 200 grams, 96.4 ground beef, 200 grams. And then Denver has been making this like mixed vegetables with like broccoli, carrots, squash. That's really good. So sounds weird, but I put ketchup on it and it's so good.
Yeah, ketchup too.
So good.
Okay.
I love ketchup. I'm a ketchup guy.
Okay.
What
Sounds
about
good.
you, Sean?
Man, so I recently got a Costco card, so that's good. And
Wow,
I
he's
like
an adult now.
Dude, hey man, fill up the car, $21.
Yeah, they have the best gas prices at Costco.
real?
Yes.
$21.
So I should probably start getting Costco too.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, you have to pay a
one-
membership fee. It's like $100 a year, right?
Yeah, something. Yeah, 60. Yeah,
$60
a year.
a
A year.
But it makes up for all the groceries over the year that
Yeah.
you haul together.
Well, the gas helps. I mean, it's just me, so I don't do a bunch of the bulk shopping. I do a lot of my regular shopping at Aldi, but went to Costco and I picked up these egg whites and these, oh my God, like steak, like sliced steak. I can't remember. Sliced sirloin steak. And you, super easy to prep those. And I had basically steak and eggs with like coffee this
You
morning.
got that at Costco or at Aldi?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Costco's the king of like pre-made, easy to make foods.
Yes.
Denver loves going there for like things you can pop in the microwave easily, or even pop in the oven or the air fryer.
They have a lot of really good high protein options
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Sam's doesn't have at all.
Yeah, Denver likes
Really?
going there to mix it up every once in a while. So they are really good for that, and the best gas prices.
Yeah, and they have these. So they have the egg white bites like you would get from Starbucks, which those are pretty good, and you get them, and I mean there's like 17 grams of protein, like a serve, and so it's like you get 2 and pop them in the microwave, and with the steak I think it ends up being like, I don't know, close to like 40 something grams of protein just in that little part.
Yeah.
So it's pretty.
You're off to the races.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes,
very
sir.
nice. Kev, do you eat breakfast before your shift starts in the morning? So for anyone that doesn't know, Kevin's one of our trainers here. He gets to the gym 4:30, 4:45 every morning. So it's a pretty tough schedule. It's something that we all deal with in our industry. So do you eat breakfast before you come in and get started with clients, or do you just maybe have a break somewhere once the shift starts, or how do you handle breakfast?
So my breakfast I handle when I have a break somewhere in between.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, because when I wake up first in the morning, I won't have enough time because I pretty much wake up, get ready, and haul out of the house because where I live, I have to drive a little bit longer. That's why. And when I go to sleep, my sleep schedule is just enough to be able to have enough energy or function fully for the day. You know, so I need to take advantage of that. Otherwise, if I wake up earlier, I wouldn't be able to function well.
Yeah, you have so you have to be here at like 4:40, 4:45, something like that, kind of to be ready. So what time do you wake up?
I wake up at 3:50 right now.
3:50.
Yeah.
And leave the house by
4:15, 4:10ish, right?
Yeah. So it's about 30, 35 minutes.
Sometimes when I'm pushing 4:20,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when that foot gets a little heavy.
Yeah, right.
You know, the foot gets a little heavy, but I can leave at 4:20.
You start leaning forward a little bit.
But the best part is,
start locking
it's so early, so there's barely any traffic on the streets. So
my boy goes from a personal trainer to F1 driver real quick.
I love playing F1.
Yeah. So man. Yeah. So sometime you have a break, maybe sometime like the slower times for us are usually like around 7 or 8, maybe
7 or 8. Yeah. So and then I'm good there, and that's where I make my breakfast really quick.
Yeah. And you said scrambled eggs. How do you have scrambled? We have like a kitchenette situation. There's like a sink and we have a microwave and a toaster, but we don't have a full spectrum kitchen. So how are you scrambling your eggs?
Good question, Phil. So the way I do that is I just get a container, right? And then I crack my 3 eggs in there. I like to have 3. I don't know, just 3. And then what I do, I grab a fork, right? And then I just whisk it in the container and then just microwave it. You know? It's just like, what do you call it? That those
like the breakfast bowl, Jimmy Dean bowl things.
Yeah, or like those muffins that you can do, like a muffin in a mug or something.
Kind of like what you were talking about, almost like the egg bites.
Or something. Yeah,
kind of like an egg bite.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
And it makes a really nice texture.
Yes, but I have to. You have to like microwave it for like between 30 seconds to a minute, a couple of times. At most 3 times, so it gets that.
And you stir it up
texture.
between
you
each
stir
one?
It in between.
Gotcha.
That's what I do. Quick, easy.
Yeah, tricks of the trade.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I came here once and he was making eggs, and I was like, how are you making eggs here? Like, what's going on? And he told me. I was like, that's insane. I did not know you could do that.
I have done that before, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I did. Have you ever tried it with just the egg whites? You know how you get like egg whites in a carton? Have you ever tried it with just that, or do you just always use whole eggs?
I always use the whole eggs, but what I did is I did it once where I just add extra egg whites so I can get more protein.
Yeah.
Right? Which works, but it's just not that tasty as 3 eggs.
And then you have what with it? Just depends on the day, or because you have a toaster. Do you ever make toast or? What?
As of right now, I'm having a frozen bag of green beans, peas, carrots, and
with eggs,
frozen vegetables, right? And then I steam them, right? And then I usually what I do on my day off or half day off, I get a whole bag of potatoes, I cut them up, I blanch them, right? And then I let them dry them out on a sheet. And I put them in the freezer, and then when I'm ready, I just pop them out and let them thaw, and then I can either steam them or
I've done that before. What's the secret? So if someone doesn't know what blanching is, my understanding, blanching is where it's kind of like steaming, but you purposely leave them undercooked.
Yes, you purposely leave them undercooked. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that allows you to heat it up better later.
Yeah, heat it up easily later, and it's softer, and it just tastes better.
Yeah,
also.
I've done that one time myself. You know who? Mike taught me that.
Oh, really?
He blanches I'm talking, a bunch of green beans, a bunch of carrots, and mixed vegetables, and he blanches a ton of them on Sunday, and then finishes the cooking process throughout the day during your meal prep.
That sounds like a little hack right there. My sister used to like meal prep, and she would have problems with like meals like lasting that much longer than like 3 or 4 days and some.
Yeah, blanching your vegetables can definitely help with that.
Yeah, so. My potatoes and vegetables. Yeah, and that's how I've been mostly doing my breakfast.
Yeah, that's a nice little breakfast hack for someone that's really busy or starts their day really early in the morning, like what we do.
Yeah,
being able to have that quick, easy little hack of just putting the eggs in the microwave, and then are they like steamable potato, like a little bag, or do you just get whole potatoes and put them in the microwave also?
No, they're already cut up, right? I batched them already cut up. So I just microwave them too.
Okay.
So they are steaming with the vegetables together.
Okay, gotcha. So you got your protein and healthy fats from the eggs.
And I got my carbs.
And you got your carbs from the potatoes and vegetables, fiber. So it's a nice whole meal.
It's a whole meal under 10 minutes done.
Oh, man.
Isn't this awesome?
It's impossible. What? You can't do that.
Yes, you can.
That is unheard of. Insane.
Yeah, that's a great hack. Yeah, I love that. So what do you got going on right now? Are you like, is that a new routine that you made with like a new diet plan that you're on? Or how do you handle your diet on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis? Because obviously you're an amazing runner, which I want to talk about. You recently competed in Hyrox. We did the marathon last year. You know, I see you working out. For your size. How much do you weigh, Kev?
As of right now, good question. The last time I weighed myself was, I think, 3 weeks or 2 weeks ago. What I remember was I was between 155 and 160.
Yeah, so Kevin weighs about 155 pounds, and I see him just moving some crazy weight, you know, for his size and form, technique, like you've never seen before. So I'm just curious on how you structure your eating, how you structure your workouts, and then I want to talk about running and talk about your recent Hyrox experience as well. So how do you structure your diet on a day-to-day? Does it always stay the same? Do you change it based upon what you're training for?
I try to keep it the same as possible, consistent, so it's just easier to deal with, right? So like I said, my breakfast is always the same. And then for my lunch and dinner, I do change up depending on what I have, right? But usually I just go to H-E-B, go to a grocery store, and just buy in bulk whatever I have for however long it lasts, which is usually between 2 to 4 days, depending on how much I eat of it, right? Or prepare of it. Yeah, and then I adjust accordingly to that. But most of the time, my eating for lunch and dinner is intuitively. I'm listening to my body, how it feels the day before and then the day off. And accordingly to that, I prepare my food, which is probably not a good thing for most people. But for me, it works because I'm very good at this for myself.
You've been doing it for a long time.
I've been doing that for a long time as well.
I assume. And if people didn't know, Kevin, you lost a good amount of weight.
Yes.
How much?
Oof. I mean, what do you mean, like from when to when?
Yeah, from your heaviest point to your, I guess, lowest point, and then where you're at now. What are the numbers?
So my heaviest point was when I just moved here to United States, which was 9 years ago. I was around 85 kilograms. How much pounds is that?
What's 85 times 2.2, Sean?
I'm checking right now.
180 pounds, something like that.
85 times 2.2?
Yeah. What is that?
85 times 2.2 is 187.
187, so almost 190 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, almost 90, and then to 150. So between
40 pounds.
40 pounds.
35, 40 pounds.
Yeah, but with muscle gains included now.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm assuming, though, that when you first started, that this style of eating, like when you first lost weight, is not necessarily what you were doing. This intuitive thing didn't work back then. You've educated yourself and learned over the years.
Right.
So tell us how that's changed over time and how you've come to this new style of eating that you have now.
Let me think. So I was the first years, of course, I started tracking everything. And with tracking, of course, that's how you...
When you say tracking, you mean like tracking your...
My food, my carbs, my macros.
Yeah, right? Your macronutrients, your carbs, your fats, everything. Your proteins. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then over the time, I stopped doing that and just... I don't know, I learned somewhere to do that intuitively by listening to my body. I wanted to try it out because I kind of got bored of it for myself. Yeah. And over the time, it was a little bit iffy, but when things started working, when I felt better for certain things that I tried, I kept with those up and kept adding for what works for me. Each like food, like whatever food I was trying out, like different ingredients. Right?
Yeah. So for example, you would eat chicken for a period of time and see how you felt, and then try beef for a period, and you were always tracking it and keep it so you know what you're eating. Like, when I eat, or maybe dairy, like, I'm not eating dairy this week, and then you start doing it, you don't feel good, so now you know that. Right. And you learn that about yourself. And I'm just using dairy as an example, right? And chicken and beef, like these are all examples. Yeah. But anyone can do that for themselves.
Right.
Also, to figure out what makes you feel good.
What makes you feel good and how you react, how your body reacts to it, right? And accordingly to that, it's just happened that I just know now what's good for me most of the time. And then certain things, what's not good for me, what to stay away from.
What are some things that you for sure stay away from?
try stay away from fast food as much as possible.
Yeah,
in general, fast food, right? Stay, a lot of bad oils. You know, you should I just stick mostly to avocado oil, olive oil, and there's one more, coconut oil. There you go.
Yeah.
Those three oils are.
So you know those oils, you feel good.
I feel good about them when I eat them. Yeah, and then try to eat as lean as possible, mostly.
So lower fat.
Lower fat, but every now and then eating higher fat is totally fine.
Like what? Give me some examples. Let's talk about the fun stuff.
Like you know, just a good fatty steak, you know, a brisket, right?
Love me a
good
fatty steak.
Fatty brisket. Every now and then, if you eat it, you just bite into it. First bite, you're like, oh yeah, it's good. You know, and it's not gonna ruin you or anything. You know, it's still that natural brisket fat that your body still needs. Right. You know, yeah.
I take that first bite and I think, man, this is what I work for.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. You know.
And then as far as changing your diet, you said you eat pretty much the same all the time.
Pretty much the same, but here now and then I change it up, you know, just to have a little bit more spice and fun.
Yeah, just have a little bit of fun with it, you know.
Yeah.
What about whenever you're, let's say, like you did the Hyrox
right
recently? Did you change your eating for that? Did you eat extra or maybe more carbs or anything?
Surprisingly, I stick with mostly the same eating pattern. Yeah. Yeah, the preparation was not as crazy. I was not preparing as crazy, like.
Yeah, it wasn't as dialed in, or it wasn't as I can't think of the word right now, but you didn't have a super structured.
Yeah, it wasn't super structured. My eating was not super structured. It was just it stayed consistent as how I was always eating. Right, I was just focusing more on the training part for Hyrox.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I kind of feel the same. I agree. Because changing your diet all the time is just hard. Yeah. It's so eating better is already so difficult. Right. So just find what works and stick with it versus trying to change something all the time. Now you need to do some experimenting in the beginning, like you said, where you try this, try that, see what works. But once you know what works, changing it is just adding complexity. Unnecessary complexity to the situation that we don't need. What about when you were running a lot more? Are you still running now?
I'm still running, but not as much as I'm supposed to.
Okay.
But I do plan on picking it back up soon.
Okay.
Because recently one of our clients asked me to do the Houston Marathon for next year again. So I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And it motivates me to also kind of like just get back into my running routine again as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we were just talking about that recently on the show, how like having like a challenge like that North Star makes running or working out or whatever you're training for so much easier. Like,
yes. Yeah. If you always have like some type of competition or goal in front of you, like a big thing coming up, you just stick more to your plan.
Right? Yeah, and then having that other person kind of holds you accountable too.
Yes.
Yeah. What is your plan for that? How do you plan to start getting back into the routine of running? Have you thought about that?
Yes. Just getting my days back off of running. Right now, I just do it only 2 to 3 times a week, but I want to get it back to like 4 to 5 times.
Okay. What are those two? What do those 2 days look like for you right now?
Usually on my off days.
Off days from work or off days from working out?
Off days from working out, I use them as running.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
So you lift how many days a week?
I lift 3 to 5 times a week right now.
And then run 2 days.
And then run 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on those running days, certain distances or times or intervals that you're doing right now?
The time is actually, that's good that you asked. Right now, I'm trying to last for 45 minutes to an hour on my run at least. Yeah.
Okay. And at what point will you step that up?
Probably.
Because we're, 7 months out from the marathon right now?
Yeah, probably soon.
And it's very hot outside.
It's very
hot throw that
right
out there
now.
Also.
Yeah, it's very hot. Either do it very early in the morning. I can go late and I have to be already in bed. I can do that. So it has to be probably be on the treadmill otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you during the week you run on the treadmill.
During the week, if it's during the day, yes, I run on a treadmill.
Yeah.
If it's feasible outside, if it's like cloudy outside, and if there's not too much sun, I definitely I try to get out as much as possible.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, well, I guess you have Friday. I was thinking, I forgot, you're off on Fridays, right? So do you run on Friday mornings?
I do run on
Friday and
mornings.
Sunday mornings, maybe sometimes?
More Friday mornings. Sunday mornings. I train more for my Sunday morning.
Oh, it's more of a lifting day?
It's more of my lifting day for some kind of reason, yeah.
Okay.
I like to just lift on Sunday morning. I don't know. It's like church for me.
Well, the gym's probably empty.
Yeah.
You know, there's not many people
There's not many
there.
people. So it's like the gym is my church on Sunday.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, your workouts are really long, though, too, I feel like. I don't know if that's necessarily true anymore.
I shortened them,
You
actually.
did?
Yes.
Okay.
I work out for just max 45 minutes an hour, but including my stretching, warm-up, sauna, it leads up to about an hour 30 to 2 hours, right?
Okay.
If I do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you do a lot of stretching.
I like to do my stretches.
Do you do that before you work out or after?
So I do more dynamic stretching before.
What do you mean
static
by that? What do you mean by dynamic stretching?
Dynamic, so I move. That's a good question.
So I guess the formal definition would be like stretching with movement.
I'm stretching with movement
Versus
and then
static
where I'm just staying on the spot and just hold one thing.
And you do that after you work out.
And do that after my workout.
Yeah.
Yes.
So before you work out, you're doing dynamic stretches, which would be stretching with movement.
Stretching with movement, get my body going, right? Yes. And then get into my workout, right? And then post, my static stretch.
Your static stretching afterwards was where you would hold a stretch.
Hold the stretch
for 60 seconds
for
or
a couple of seconds, couple longer seconds. Yes. And my body works best with that.
I mean, I feel like that probably works best for most people.
Yeah, but it can be one or the other.
Yeah.
As long as you stretch, that's fine.
You try it for yourself.
You try it for yourself.
And you know that this method works for you.
Works for me the best. Yeah.
And do you ever run on the same days as you lift, or you've separated those completely?
I separated. I try to separate it, but sometimes I know I don't have enough time, so I have to do my run always right after my training.
Okay. Yeah. And then that can lead into a really long session. Do you eat in the morning before you work out on a day like that? Because during the week you work. I'm assuming that during the week you work out. Your lifting during the week is like middle of the day, right? Maybe like noon 1 o'clock, something like that. Yeah. What about on Sunday morning? Do you eat breakfast before you head into the gym, or?
Let me think. No, I actually usually don't. I just go fasted into because the night before Saturday, I kind of eat a little bit later on Saturdays. So I kind of like, when I wake up, I'm like, I still kind of feel full from Saturdays. So I go just with either with a coffee or a pre-workout into the gym, and
Yeah, I prefer to work out fasted in the morning as well. If I'm working out within an hour or two of waking up, I won't eat. But if I'm going to wait more than 2 hours to work out, then I'll have some breakfast.
I agree.
Yeah,
so that feels pretty good.
Because if it's too long, then then you don't feel fueled.
Yeah,
you know.
I feel like my concentration is on food at that point too.
Yeah. When you never want to be hungry in the gym. Yeah. Yeah, because then you're thinking about that and not thinking about your workout.
Right. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I can confirm that. I did that. I think I did that. Yeah, there actually was a Sunday where like I got somehow hungry probably, and I was just like, I couldn't focus. Just like,
you're like zoned out.
I was like, I need food, you know. So like my workout was just really meh, you know.
Yeah, you're just trying to get through it. You're like going through the motions almost.
Exactly.
Yeah, I waited probably too long in the morning
before you went to the gym.
Before I went to the gym, because
when you get the audible stomach growl.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
And probably the reason why is probably because I open my phone and I start scrolling.
Oh, danger zone. You didn't have to admit that to everyone.
Yeah.
You could have made something up.
No, but sorry.
You could have said you were like saving a kitty out of the tree. That's why you couldn't get any like breakfast that morning.
No, I would have to put it out there.
Being straight up.
Yeah, you don't want to be holding back. So what happens? Yeah. So we're in July.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're in June right now.
June.
Sorry, we're in June.
Yeah, June.
So it's very hot outside. You're running twice a week. A lot of times it's on the treadmill because it is so hot.
It is hot.
At what point do you start to focus on the running a little bit more? You're committed to the marathon in January. Mm-hmm. I know Denver is going to be running that marathon as well, probably. Yes. So I know about what her plan is and kind of what she's talked about. But I'm curious, what's your plan on prepping for this marathon? When do you start to take running more serious? When are you going to move it up from 2 days a week to 3 days a week and things like that?
So once my client asked me about it, Corey, I was already set to, okay, let me bump it up.
So you made your mind up right in that moment.
I made my head up, right up at that moment. But I'm traveling next week. So after I come back from my travels, then I'm going to be dialed in. I'm going to slowly up my running days again to at least minimum 3 times. And once my body's used to that again, then I bump it up to 4. And then from the 4 to the 5, and then I'm good.
And are you going to taper off from your lifting at that point as well, or are you going to keep that where it's at?
I keep as where my lifting is because my lifting is focusing on full body workouts right now, which is great actually. My body reacts really well to the full body training. Like, I know that I've felt actually stronger. My lift's been actually stronger for some kind of reason. So
yeah, what is it about the full body that you think is reacting so good for you?
That's a good question. What is it about the full body? I guess my muscles are less fatigued. And yeah, I get more rest. My muscles, they get more time to rest actually, and are good to go to lift really heavy or strong again.
Yeah, I was talking to one of our clients this morning, and I haven't used this term in a long time, but I used it with him. Do you guys know who the Hodge twins are?
Hodge twins?
Do you remember them?
I do know the Hodge twins.
They were like one of the original fitness YouTube people.
Really?
You don't know who they are? Look, they're really they've transitioned now into more like the political space, and they do comedy. They're really funny.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
Okay.
They're super funny. But anyways, they were early in YouTube, a lot of fitness stuff, and they always had comedy, as an attraction to them as individuals,
So they're naturally just funny.
Yeah, but they were real big on fasting as well. When fasting was really early, like the early days of fasting, they were real big, and they were huge too. They were like 6'3", 230.
Yeah.
Big guys, but identical twins, and they fasted. They were big on like fasting, not overeating, if it fits your macros. So they ate a lot of like pizza and stuff, but they would fast all day, work out fasted, and then like eat pizza or something afterwards. And that was like their claim to fame. And they were also real big, and I'm getting to the point now, but they were also big on not working to muscle failure. Like in strength training. Well, if you look back to the 80s and 90s even, strength training was not very popular. It was more about aerobics and endurance. Then strength training became more popular in the early 2000s, and a lot of the mindset was work your muscles to failure. The Hodge twins were early in not working to failure, and now the science tells us that you don't need to work to muscle failure to get great results. Right. We know that, and we talk about that, right, for our clients here and how to get them the best results. Right. The Hodge twins, even though they're not scientists or doctors, they were early in promoting that. And they had a saying that was stimulate, don't annihilate. So when it comes to strength training, your goal is to stimulate muscle growth, not annihilate your muscles. And by taking this full body approach, you're doing just enough each time you work out to stimulate
your muscles,
but you're not annihilating them to where you're not recovered for your next session. Yeah, so that's part of what's going on. You know, there's a lot of benefits to full body, which is why we do it, right?
Right.
But that's probably what's going on with you.
For me, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Because before that, I just did my bro splits, right?
Yeah.
They work great for me, right? But at this point, I'm like, okay, let's switch things a little bit up. I wanna see if I do this, how my body responds to it. And
What made you want to try that? Was it because obviously that's, if you guys don't know, that's what we promote here at OTG Fitness. We promote full body. We've done a lot of work in putting all the programs together and educating our team on why it's so beneficial and why it works.
Yes.
Is that when we started really getting heavy on that? Is that when you tried it, or?
No, I'm glad that you actually asked. I know like I started plateauing. So I'm like, okay, this is getting frustrating for me. Let's change my training style up and do full body. And since then, it has been
On its way back up.
on the way back up. I'm like, oh, this is good.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's motivating. Results are motivating,
Yeah.
right? Results are fun. And how long has that been?
Did I start it this year or was it last year? Oh my god.
Early this year, maybe last winter. So it's been maybe 6 or 8 months.
Yeah, earlier.
Maybe
Oh my
a
god. Oh my god. I asked it. When did I? Probably earlier this year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So about 6 months or so
Yeah.
you've been taking this approach.
Yes, and it's been great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
awesome.
love
Was it hard at first, like mentally to?
It was a slight mental adjustment to that. Like, I was like, I don't know about this, right? But then after like, just 1 month, 2 months, and I'm like, I feel actually I look more bigger a little bit. And my friends have been telling me too. I'm like, okay, it's working. All right, let's keep this up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, because it is like when you do a bro split, you're like, chest day. Easy day, fun day.
Yeah.
And then you're like, legs.
Yeah.
So it's like this mental hurdle all the time.
Yeah.
But with full body, it's a mental hurdle as well. Let's say that. But because you're going to do everything each day. You know.
Speaking of workouts, I do have a question. When it comes to, you say you do a lot of full body workouts, which I totally agree with too. I do a good amount of full body workouts myself, but I also will switch it up depending on my training. So if I'm going like, okay, I'm going to train for a certain race, or if I was doing Hyrox, does that affect how you train? Like, do you train more legs if you're going to do a race, or do you train more like upper if you're going to do like Hyrox, or does it mostly stay the same?
So I'm probably gonna, so what happens, I'm gonna commit to, like, from the usual training, I'll commit like 2 or 3 days of those where I focus on that specific challenge or goal that I have, right?
Okay.
The specific competition or race, right? So if I have Hyrox, right, I'm gonna switch out my training days for Hyrox focused workouts, right? Where I do my wall balls, right? Where I do more running in between my exercises each time, right? More rowing and so on, right? Yeah, and if I run, that's a good question. I'm probably gonna focus definitely more on my legs, a little bit more. Like do more exercises for my legs and less upper body exercise, just to strengthen them more.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was like, whenever I train, my focus heightens on leg days and flexibility days for like a run or something. I'm just like, those, to me, it just feels great if I can like really lock in on those days, and then the upper body days are still there, because I feel like, I guess the way it works is having more muscle in general is just better. So I don't want to just like focus in on one and not touch the top at all. But it's like, so it's just like a little less like about gains there. It's just like, all right, we're just trying to maintain.
Yes, right. Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
What's your goal for the marathon? Do you have a goal time?
So since I did the chevron last year, it was just a minute or something, a couple of minutes underneath the 4-hour mark. I do want to complete it a little bit faster, without locking up. My main thing that I was really kind of like disappointed about myself is that I locked up.
What do you mean by locked up?
Hit the wall, like I just.
Oh, you just like
your
you
legs
just felt
locked
like you
up.
couldn't go
just
anymore.
locked up on me most of the time, so I couldn't really consistently run. Yeah.
What do you think attributed to that?
Still didn't train enough as I supposed to, or not as structured as I supposed to, probably.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just your first time too, because I can tell you from my experience, we ran the same race. I felt like my training was good. You know, I was on my training plan. Everything was good. I knew I had this very slight right hamstring issue, like on my longer training runs that were like 20 plus miles. At the very end, my right hamstring was giving me a little bit of an issue. And so come race day, it hit me hard, you know. So we had a very similar experience. Yeah. I think you still got me by like an hour.
A whole hour.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, there was one where I was laying on the side of the road because I just couldn't move my legs.
Oh, my goodness.
My legs just wouldn't move at like mile 22. I was like laying on the side of the road, and people were coming over from the crowd and giving me electrolyte powders.
Electrolytes or pickle juice.
Yeah, it was crazy.
To revive you.
But it could be just from your first time of that experience.
For my first time too.
You know, it was really cold that day too, which is a little bit of an advantage in some ways, but maybe a disadvantage in other ways where we're not used to that. You know, so there's a lot of reasons, but I know for a fact that you can beat that time. I've seen Kevin eat a pint of ice cream and then go run 10 miles. So
all the carbs and sugars, that's all I need.
I'm confident that Kevin can get like a 3:30. I'm confident that you can knock out a 3:30, dude.
If I dial in as I told myself that I'm gonna do this, I think I can definitely.
I know that you can.
Do you do self-trained, or do you ever get a coach?
Self-trained.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, everything I do is I just look at other professional runners or YouTuber runners or whoever, right?
Then you kind of slot
and
that in.
Try to pick their techniques or their training regimens out. I try them for myself and see how I react to that, right?
Yeah.
If I react to that well, good. Let's keep it going. If not, okay, let me try something else, you know?
I think, Kevin, you have an ability that is maybe overlooked by others and yourself as well, of how to assess something for yourself. Like that diet thing, like your intuitive eating. That's a skill that a lot of people don't have. For you to try something and stay consistent with it long enough to realize and understand this works for me or does not work for me. A lot of people try that and just can't do it. So I think I don't know if maybe even you don't realize that you have that ability to do that. Because like you just said, you just watch others. I try it. It didn't work for me. Let me try the next thing. This does work. You say it so nonchalantly, like it's not a big deal, but that is a big deal. That's a real skill that many people don't have. I mean, Sean, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely think it's tough. You know, like some people when they hear intuitive eating, they just hear I just want to eat whatever I want whenever I want, and that's it. Like I don't want. Like,
no, it doesn't work that way.
Like intuitive eating can work, and it seems like it can be a structure for people, but it's definitely like a little bit more of an advanced skill for dieting. I think, especially if you're trying to lose weight and you're new to it, it's like losing weight. Yeah, that's crazy. So
for training also.
And with training too.
Like to so easily recognize that making this shift in your exercise like led to better results. Like that is a skill. And it's been developed. It's part of your natural abilities, but it's also just from you've been so consistent over so many years.
Right. Yeah.
And that's really is always our goal with people when they come in here, right?
I do try to teach certain things that I learned to everybody else. But it's just, it doesn't work for everybody, right? It doesn't work for everybody. Right. That's why I have to
some people need a little more structure and guidance and hand holding, and that's totally fine. Yeah. So I think it's important though just to realize that that you have this skill, that can be really helpful. Let's shift a little bit though to your recent. You ran a Hyrox recently.
Yes, I did a Hyrox.
How was it? Rate your experience. Tell us about it, and then I'll just kind of explain real quick. I guess what Hyrox is. It's if you don't know what Hyrox is, it's 8 events. It's a combination of strength and endurance. Between each event, you run 1 kilometer, which is about 0.6 of a mile. The events are comprised of walking lunges with a weight on your back, farmer's carries, burpee broad jumps where you do a burpee and jump, the rower, the ski erg, wall balls. It's 100 wall balls, and sled push and sled pull. Yeah, and between each one of those events, you run 1 kilometer.
That's right.
The fastest people in the world, I think, are doing it in about an hour. So just kind of give you an idea of what Hyrox is if you're not familiar. So, Kevin, tell us about your Hyrox experience and what you thought about it.
So my Hyrox experience for my first time had lots of fun.
Okay.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I died at the end, but it was just fun. Like, the energy was really high. I mean, you're just surrounded with people that were all like there for the same reason, for the same goal, just to finish and do those exercises with a lot of energy and commitment. And I don't know, it's just a lot of fun. You just, once you get there and you see the people and everybody, it's just like, oh, that's what's going on. It's
So from an experience, you rated a 10 out of 10.
Yes, I rated a 10 out of 10.
What about for your performance? How do you feel about your performance?
Yes, my performance. Since it was my first time, I just know what the exercises were or what we're gonna do, and I try to do my best to accordingly train for that, right? But I didn't hire like anybody, a professional, to train me exactly for that. I just did it also just for myself intuitively, and it worked pretty well. But I know it can be better.
Good. Well, you also kind of did it last minute.
Yes.
I don't think you prepared for very long.
No.
I think it was like a couple of months out.
Not even, I don't think. I think that, was it?
Because I remember you were asking me, and then I did the workout with Johnny, and I was like, I'm not doing it.
Sean dropped out after a training phase.
Because it was in March, right? Hyrox was in March.
I'm not sure.
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like that.
Hyrox was in March.
Yeah.
And then Corey asked me about it, I think, in December or
3
January.
months?
Yeah.
2 months?
Yeah, it was less than.
But was it the same with the
3
marathon? Were you like, yes, I'm doing it, and you made that commitment in your mind right that moment? Or were you kind of like on the fence about it?
No, I was right, because it was something that, it sounds challenging. I never did it before. Let's do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate your performance?
My performance was it's between a 6 and 7 out of 10. Yeah.
And do you plan to do a Hyrox again?
Yes, I want to do it again. Every time.
What was the most challenging part?
Huh?
What was the most challenging, like,
the
movement,
most challenging part
exercise?
is getting towards the end for the last 3 exercises. It was the farmer's carry.
Yeah, because I seen you on the farmer's carry, and you were looking,
and
he was looking, looking cramped up a little bit.
I wasn't there on
I
that
started
day.
to cramp up, farmer's carry, and then it was the run, right? And then it was that's where I really began to walk.
The lunges.
The lunges,
yeah.
The lunges, right? Walking lunges with the bag. That's where I really, really died. And then the wall balls. Actually, the wall balls were not as bad, or wouldn't be as bad as if it was for the lunges before that. Right?
Do you think it's because the wall balls are the very last event? You can see the finish line. If you've never been to a Hyrox race, the finish line is literally like next door to the wall balls. Like, you do the wall balls and you walk 3 steps and you're done. So you can see the finish line. Do you think that was part of it, and you were getting a little adrenaline boost there at the end, or do you think that you're just good at that event?
I just try to finish. That's all. That's all I was thinking about. Like, okay, let me just try to stay alive and not die, and try my best to keep going without losing too much time, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
But still have fun at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember your time?
1:46 or something.
What's your goal for your next one?
To be honest, I want to be able to do it in under 1.5 hour.
1:30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1:30 time.
What do you think you need to focus on the most to drop that 16 minutes?
I need to focus on make sure that when I train that I replicate it as much as possible,
Mm-hmm.
right? The exercise, run, but also making sure that I get the weights up as well, right? Do more weights than you actually would do on the day of the race, right? So when you do it, it's just easier for you. Oh my god, I done heavier in my training, so this should be easy for me now, right?
Right.
But because of race day, our heart rate is just more up because we're so excited and everything. It's hard to stay calm when race day. You know,
It's very important, especially
Because
in
of-
endurance races.
energy is just so high. Everybody's cheering and then screaming at you.
You want to keep your heart rate down.
You got this, blah blah blah. You know, like okay.
Yeah. I'm not a Hyrox expert, but to me, the hardest part about it is even if you are a really good runner, the question really is, are you a good runner after you push a 400-pound sled 100 meters?
Right. Yeah.
That's a different sport.
It's a different sport
at that time.
Hybrid sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like, how good are you a runner after you do like 100 burpee broad jumps or however long you gotta do
After
that?
you do 100 meters of weighted lunges.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, are
geez.
you still a good runner?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what makes it so difficult.
Yes. The functional strength training with the running back to back is just it's on a whole different level for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer from, I'm at two different questions here.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer, the marathon or the Hyrox, training wise and race day wise? Like kind of two different things there, because you have your training for each race and then you also have the race day. Which do you prefer in both of those?
For training, I do like the Hyrox because I still get to strength train a little bit. And for it's just running, right?
Yeah,
So I'm like,
right.
I do get tired of it. I did get tired of for my marathon prep, like, you know. And then what was the second one again?
The race day itself, which do you prefer? Hyrox also.
Hyrox or
Yeah,
some kind of.
Hyrox.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, Hyrox. I don't know. It's
Denver said the same thing.
something about Hyrox that's just.
Yeah, I feel like
just
Denver
fun.
Yeah, I feel like Denver was like not feeling the training at some point, and then like when she like actually did it, she was like, "Dude, this was sick. I loved it. I want to do it
Yeah.
again."
Because it is more, the thing about a marathon is it's more of a mental gruel.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's mentally grueling. Sorry, I don't think gruel is a word, but it's
I feel
mental.
like gruel is a food.
Yeah, it's more mentally grueling is what I was looking for. It's harder mentally. It's just as much a mental challenge as a physical challenge. Where Hyrox is definitely more physical. But it has a mental piece to it.
Yes.
But there's more physicality in Hyrox.
Yeah, it's just more engaging, right? That's
Yeah.
why it's just easier for you to focus, you know, than on running. Running, we're just running literally.
Yeah, and that's where the
Straight.
mental part is. You're doing the
Yeah.
same thing over
and
and over and over,
Yeah.
like getting to that finish line.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I kind of, and I think that just as you know, in the personal training world, we focused a lot on strength training. So Hyrox in general just leans more to your strengths, probably.
Yeah.
You know, because you have an innate ability to run. You're a great runner. I remember the first time we ran a race and Kevin placed. And he didn't even realize.
What?
He was like, "What?"
Oh.
He was like, "What? I won?"
Yeah.
Kevin
I
won
didn't
his
know.
age group.
Yes.
And he's like, and we didn't even. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
You know, so you have this
Yeah.
ability to run, but your training is more in the strength side. So that's Hyrox is a nice race for you because you have like a natural ability as a runner,
Right.
but then your training over the years has gotten you strong also.
Gotten me strong. Yeah.
And now you put them together
So
for
put them
something
together,
like Hyrox.
and it's a fun, nice challenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something different.
Exactly.
Did you always enjoy running, or like what? I guess what Because I like running too, but sometimes I mean that mental part, it's tough, and it takes it almost I almost feel like it takes like at least a mile or two for me to really kind of get in the groove of like whatever that workout is usually. But you know, what keeps you going, man? What keeps you running?
Good question. So when I started first running was actually in Germany when I was still overweight. That's why I actually tried my best to
lose weight.
Lose weight. But I didn't do it because I enjoy it, because I literally was kind of like, I need to lose weight, because I feel, too fluffy, right? Yeah. So, no. But probably when I moved here and started running again and I start seeing result, I started liking it a little bit more, not too much.
And so now, like you're in a more advanced part of your like you're running now, and you're doing like these real long run preps, for the marathon. So like on those nights or those days, whenever you're about to go out running, like what is there like certain music? Is there a certain thought that keeps you kind of going, or are you just like, hey man, I just gotta knock it out. I just gotta do it.
That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure. Like it's a mixture of everything.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like there's sometimes just the fact I get to go out and run feels like amazing. So that's awesome.
Sometimes I do go run with music, and there's days where I'm like, no, I just want to listen to nature today, or be just with my mind for some kind of reason.
I like that.
But today I'm like, oh no, I feel the music and I just want to put some like hardcore EDM music and just run to the beat, right?
Yes, sir.
And then the other day, like, no, today I want to. And then when I do it, I actually feel really good. I was like, wow, this is actually really nice to change it up like that. I really enjoy this process of changing it up.
I've been there.
And it makes it fun, actually, for me, at least.
Yeah, that is the change up that you need sometimes.
Yeah.
Just that little bit of change of the stimulus is what I like calling it. Like sometimes like even different shorts or like a different pants or a different shirt or something. It's like, oh man, this is nice.
No.
This is nice for the run,
Yeah, no, like small things to change up, they make a huge difference, Like when I don't run with music, I look at nature more.
And it also kind of makes you appreciate when you do get it, when you do have the music piece maybe a little bit more.
Yeah. No, everything is, it's just.
Yeah.
Great.
So when is the next Hyrox race? Have you looked into any?
So the next Hyrox would be in Dallas in November. And I wanted, for that one though, I wanted to do a double with somebody.
Oh, okay.
So that means if you do a double, you share your exercises with your partner, which makes it easier actually, right? So that means my prep wouldn't have to be too intense prepping for yourself than prepping for two people, because it's
you do half of it.
I would do a half of it.
You have to do all the running still.
Still do all the run. Yes, that's right.
But you split the exercise portion.
You can split the exercise portion, or you split the exercise.
And you also
portion.
can't leave your partner, right? Like you.
No,
can't,
you have to stay.
Yeah, you gotta stay beside them the whole time, pretty much.
So for the running part, that's right, guys. For the running part, you need to still be on par together.
Would you prefer to have a partner that's same level as you, a little bit behind you, or a little bit ahead of you? Like as far as
fitness level?
Fitness level wise, to be honest, myself, I really prefer them just a tiny bit better, a little bit slightly better, because my partner would push me to, hey, come on, Kevin, let's perform a little better. He motivates me to push a little better. If we're the same, that's good. If it's less, it would probably then the other way around, right?
Yeah, like you're going to be motivating them.
I would be motivating my partner to be better. But for myself, personally, preferably, I would like to have the other person better than me.
Yeah, you're like, I do this enough at work. I want someone motivate me for once, please.
Exactly.
I need somebody to challenge me more, right? That's why I do all those races and runs, to just challenge. It's great.
Awesome. Well, maybe last couple of questions here. Yeah. What's your favorite part about being a trainer?
my favorite part about being a trainer. I like to answer that. Yes, with joy. So my favorite part of being a trainer is because I get to see everybody progressing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting fitter, healthier, feeling better, And whenever I see them being committed, coming in and seeing results, that means we are winning too, right? And yeah, just being able to relate also with your clients as well. And then knowing you're part of their journey is just very rewarding and fun. And yeah.
All right.
Makes me really happy.
Yeah. Look, for transparency, what's your least favorite part of being a trainer?
Least favorite part is the waking up early part, probably. Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Waking up
part?
Oh my
perfect. I knew that was
Once I thought about it, it's the...
Just the thought made him tired. He's like,
I had to wake up early because, how does everybody else wake up so early and they come here working out so early?
Yeah.
But because...
That motivates me sometimes when I think about that. I'm like, well, I mean, other people they're coming to work out at this time, which I enjoy working out in the morning too. Yeah. But it's always tough waking up.
From a client's perspective, like, wait, I'm waking up early just to go work out with somebody. I mean, I paid them, but like, you still wake up early.
Yeah. How do you bring the energy so early in the morning?
How do I bring it?
Yeah.
That's a good question. How do I bring it? I mean, I know that I am naturally just a more upbeat person, right? But also thinking about being grateful for practicing grace, right? Mm-hmm. That helps me a lot. That humbles me, right? Humbling myself, and what gets me up that.
Yeah, that one's really good. And even if you don't come up with anything else, I think that, like on the spot, I think that's a really great answer, because sometimes, as tired as you are, it's like, oh my gosh, this sucks or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then you just think for a minute, dang, this is a pretty sweet job that I have. Like, I get to go in and help people, like you were saying. And then you think about that, the rewarding part, how you answered that so joyfully about being a part of their journey and things like that. And you're like, this is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And then you just you have more energy.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, practicing gratitude is huge,
Yeah,
sometimes.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, there's definitely times where I've been, it's like I'll get the training regimen, or I know I have to go out for a long run, and it's just like, man, it's tough and it's like, man, I don't really want to do this. It's really late. I'm a late runner, so it's like sometimes it's really late and I'll be out running, and it's just, but just having the opportunity and just being gracious of the fact that you can even go out and do it is pretty good. So I think that's a motivating factor for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Being there for everybody, seeing everybody's smiles, and seeing everybody at the end of the workout, how tired they are after that, hopefully. Yes, that's the fun part. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, Sean, do you have any final questions for Kevin? Those are my last two questions. Favorite and least favorite.
Well, yeah, I got you. I actually just answered. I had asked my question during, so we're good. I looked up gruel, and gruel is actually porridge. So it's like
porridge.
A soupy porridge. So
what is know that?
Yeah.
Porridge would be like soup, like soup. Oatmeal.
Yeah, it's like it sounds gross. Yeah, it's like oatmeal though. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like oatmeal.
Yeah. I would call it porridge though.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like an old school thing, but that was it, man. That's all I had. I'm happy that you came on, and I appreciate you taking the time with us.
Me back here.
Oh anytime, dude. You're always welcome.
Well, the studio being in the gym makes it a little easier.
A little bit, yeah. You're always welcome, though.
All right, guys. Well, if you're in the area, come by. Kevin's here Monday through Thursdays in the mornings, Monday and Wednesday in the evenings, and Saturdays.
And Saturday mornings. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.